Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Utility Sports. Today, we're taking a look at Kristaps Porzingis, his future as a Dallas Maverick, and how everything could possibly play out for the Dallas Mavericks in general, especially with the given circumstances of them. Right now, being in the 5th seed as I'm recording this, I am recording this May 12th. It's a Wednesday. I'm going to schedule this for Thursday, so you guys are going to be seeing this a day after it comes out. They do play the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. So maybe Kristaps plays tonight, has a really good game, possibly puts some of this rumor to rest at this point, but I'm recording this before that game. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. If you could right now, hit that thumbs up button for me. It would mean a lot. Also, hit that subscribe button if you are new to Utility Sports, especially you Dallas Mavericks fans out there. I myself am a Dallas Mavericks fan, so it'd be awesome having your guys' support for the channel moving forward. So let's jump into it. The first thing I want to talk about today is Porzingis' success and his statistical anomaly that he still is with the Dallas Mavericks. He's played 97 total games with the Dallas Mavericks since being traded there. Of course, that's not a ton. He's missed a lot of time. That is a big concern. And in those 97 games, he's played about 31 and a half minutes a game. He's averaging just north of 20 points per game during his duration in Dallas. He's averaging 9.3 rebounds per game, so pretty good rebounding numbers, actually outperforming what he was doing in New York. Of course, a big part of that is playing almost exclusively at power forward in New York alongside bigs like Joakim Noah and also Enes Kanter. Here in Dallas, he's been the main rebounding threat alongside Luka Doncic. 1.7 assists per game, 0.6 steals per game, 1.8 blocks per game. That's really where his biggest impact is, in my opinion, so far on this team. Is he's our best rim protector, and I don't even think it's close. And this is where maybe a little bit of the disappointment is for some Dallas Mavericks fans. He's shooting south of 45% from the field in the 97 games he's played with the Dallas Mavericks during the regular season, and he's shooting 35.5% from three. That's on 6.5 attempts per game or so, and his field goal attempts are about 16 per game. So maybe not as many shots as a lot of Mavs fans would like to see him getting, and I think that's a little bit of Kristaps' concern himself with the Dallas Mavericks organization. So what are some of those concerns that Kristaps currently has? Well, and that I also have as well. You're looking at a concern along his relationship with our other star, Luka Doncic, especially when you look at them from an in-game interaction. They don't really look at each other a lot. They don't congratulate each other a lot. It's pretty rare to see them, actually high five or, give each other a thumbs up, even anything like that. I know it sounds a little nitpicky and a little silly to be concerned about that. I usually don't have as much concern, but it kind of comes off a little bit like Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant did in the early 2000s, where they're both great players. They can play together, but they don't necessarily enjoy it as much as many would have thought when they first acquired Kristaps Porzingis. I thought that Luka and Kristaps were going to be best of friends, and that just isn't how they are. And Mark Cuban's recent comments do suggest the same thing. He said that they're not best friends off the court, that they've had dust-ups in the past. Even that is the exact word he used, dust-ups. And my question is, does Kristaps have a little bit of jealousy of Luka Doncic being the big star in Dallas, the one that everyone loves more there with the Dallas Mavericks? Kristaps was that with the New York Knicks. Every single Knicks fan loved Kristaps Porzingis. Then he requested out, ended up in Dallas. Luckily for the Mavs fans, we got him on what I think is still a pretty good deal. And you're looking at Kristaps Porzingis maybe not being happy that he's looked at as the number 2 guy in his own city now with the Dallas Mavericks. And a lot of Mavs fans are even wanting him to be traded. I think that he might not be, really content in the city of Dallas. That is one concern I have. Now, that's just speculation. There's nothing that he has said that would actually, confirm or deny that at this point. But he is very business and professional related when asked about Luka Doncic. Doesn't really talk about his relationship with Luka as a friend at all. So that is one concern I have. Also, another concern, and this is more so what I feel like Kristaps Porzingis has really mentioned and talked about, is his trust in Rick Carlisle, especially on the offensive end of the floor. I think Kristaps Porzingis is a little frustrated at the amount of offensive touches he gets, especially in games where Luka Doncic is active and playing. When Luka Doncic doesn't play, the offense runs through Kristaps Porzingis, and he plays very, very well. Last year, he was averaging over 28 points per game when Luka Doncic didn't play, and of course, only 20 points per game throughout the whole season shows how much Luka Doncic's playing does affect Kristaps' touches on the offensive end. And I've got some concerns about this as well. Rick Carlisle, I don't think, really puts Kristaps in positions to succeed at a high rate like he should and like he could, with a few different things we're going to talk about later in this video on how he can put Kristaps Porzingis in better areas of the floor, better situations to become more efficient and score the basketball at a higher rate. I think that those are going to be things that you guys want to see, so stay tuned in this video. And also, Kristaps Porzingis has a little bit of concern playing at center versus power forward. We know how much Rick Carlisle loves Dwight Powell. He looks at Dwight Powell as one of the best role men in the league. And in some ways, Dwight Powell is a very good role man, especially coming back from his Achilles. Started a little cold, wasn't really the same player, but as he's come into form and has gotten healthier, he's looked a lot better again as that role man. But at the same time, Kristaps Porzingis wants to play the 5. He wants to have that floor spacing around him so he can operate in the low post area, mid post area. And Rick Carlisle just hasn't given him a ton of opportunities to do that, especially this season with Dwight Powell coming back into the fold. Remember last year when Dwight Powell first went down, Kristaps Porzingis moved full-time to the 5 and played phenomenally in that role. This year hasn't had as many opportunities to play at the full-time 5, and I think it's really rubbing Kristaps Porzingis the wrong way. Also, I've got questions if there's issues arising with Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban obviously went on into a podcast and said that there are dust-ups between Porzingis and some of his teammates. Kristaps outright denied that just yesterday, saying that he is a very professional, he handles himself very professionally, doesn't get into disputes or debates with his teammates. And I believe Kristaps Porzingis on this. I've never seen him, actively throwing other teammates under the bus. He's never done that. I think Mark Cuban got probably caught up in the moment, said something he didn't necessarily mean to be interpreted that way. And I think that's going to rub Kristaps Porzingis the wrong way as well. It doesn't seem like he has a real source of backing here in Dallas, because Rick Carlisle talks so highly of Luka Doncic all the time and not so much about Kristaps Porzingis. Mark Cuban, I thought, was going to be the guy who's going to be the mediator here. This causes a little bit of concern for me. And of course, the biggest concern I think that all Mavericks fans have, Kristaps Porzingis should probably have, and that Mavs management is going to be looking at, is his health. He's missed so many games already as a Dallas Maverick coming off that ACL. Part of it is he's rushed himself back. Look at his torn meniscus he suffered. He came back really quickly on in this year's season. Jaren Jackson missed a majority of the season with the same injury that he sustained before Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps rushed himself back. I'm glad he did, because we need him on the floor to be a very good team. But at the end of the day, I think he came back a little too early. Maybe is some of the reason why he's missed so much extra time this year. But at the end of the day, he's trying to be on the floor. He wants to be on the floor, and that's something I appreciate as a Mavericks fan. So, what are some possible solutions to some of the issues I just outlined? Well, some of the issues just strictly involve winning. If the Mavericks are winning more games, winning playoff series, the possible disdain between both Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis is going to go away. The two of them want to win. They're highly competitive guys, especially Luka Doncic, and he wants to win basketball games, win playoff series, and ultimately at some point win a title. If Dallas starts winning at a higher rate, climbing up to the 3, 4, possibly 2 or 1 seeds in the future, there's not going to be an issue here between these two guys. They just want to win games. They want to win basketball games, and they want to both succeed individually, but also as a unit. And I think winning has to be at the forefront of all Mavericks fans' eyes, is, hey, if we're healthy and we're winning games, there's not going to be problems here between these two players. I don't even think there's really problems right now. It's just not as smooth as everyone was hoping. Like, they're not best friends at this point. That's my thought. Also, Mark Cuban, you know how competitive he is. He wants to win games as well. He wants to win championships in Dallas. The moment Dallas starts winning a little bit more consistently, a lot of these problems are going to go out the door. Now, for issues with Rick Carlisle, between Kristaps Porzingis and the head coach Rick Carlisle, and how he fits into that offense. Rick Carlisle is a very screen-heavy offense. He does a lot of off-ball screens off the wings for some of his guards and wing players, but he has to start doing some more of this for Kristaps Porzingis. It's all about screening here for the Dallas Mavericks to fully maximize what Kristaps Porzingis is going to bring to the table here. The first one I want to talk about is something Dallas has been doing for over a decade now at this point. The double high drag screen that they run. They need to get back to doing this often and consistently, especially with how talented Luka Doncic is as a passer. I will have a video clip here, but first I'm going to talk this through if you guys can see my mouse. Luka Doncic is here, and this is what makes Kristaps Porzingis so special, because he can either play the 5 or the 4 position with his athleticism and also his touch away from the basket. He can do both things here. So here's Luka, the 1. Let's say Kristaps Porzingis is the 5, and we have Maxi Kleber as the 4-man here to start here. This is this scenario here. I'm talking about Kristaps and Kleber on the floor together with Kristaps playing that true 5-man position. Luka here gets 2 screens, the first one from Kristaps and the second from Kleber. Kleber pops off the screen and Kristaps rolls. And since Luka is such a good scorer, but also such a phenomenal passer, this works so well because you've got Kristaps diving here to the rim as an elite lob threat, very athletic, massive human being at 7'3". He is a great lob threat here. We've seen them connect in the past. I think, again, this is a perfect scenario of how screening can get Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis open, but we've also got Kleber here open. He's been shooting the ball very well this year from 3. Luka's going to be able to hit this pass, or also find his own basket. Rick Carlisle has been doing this double high drag screen for years. I'll have a clip of that right now for you guys to see. And this is something that he's got to get back to doing with extreme consistency. Also, this works possibly if Dwight Powell's on the floor with Kristaps Porzingis when Kristaps is playing the 4-man, even though that's not necessarily what he wants to do. You put Dwight Powell here as the screening 5. You put Kristaps here as the 4. He fades out to the wing, and Dwight Powell is the diver. This fully maximizes what Kristaps can do because he can shoot the 3-ball with extreme efficiency. He can also dive to the rim. He's very athletic, very big target as well for Luka Doncic. This is something that Rick Carlisle's got to get back to utilizing way more consistently this year. He did it a lot last year. That's why the Mavericks had so much offensive success. Hasn't ran it as much this season, and he needs to get back to doing that more frequently. Our second thing that Kristaps Porzingis could be utilized better in his offense is some of this off-ball screen action, especially off the baseline. I'm sure Mavs fans, you can know what I'm talking about here when I talk about a mid-range post-up inefficient shot for Kristaps Porzingis. We've seen it time and time again. He can't move anyone with his lower body on the block. So when he catches here in this elbow area, he's just forced to turn and shoot. And that's probably about a 45-50% shot for him. He's very good in that range, but at the end of the day, it's still a tougher shot than if he was catching down here on the low block. And this is exactly what this play is designed. Here we've got Luka Doncic. This could be Tim Hardaway Jr., Jalen Brunson, whoever. The 3 could be Dorian Finney-Smith. Again, not super specific. Kristaps Porzingis starts here as the 5, and down here we could have Maxi Kleber as the 4 per se. Again, not the biggest deal. You do want this to be a smaller lineup though to really punish switching for Kristaps Porzingis. So now at the 1, Luka Doncic gets a screen here from Dorian Finney-Smith, kicks it to the corner, or to the wing rather, and simultaneously while this action's happening, Kristaps Porzingis comes off a off-ball screen, from Maxi Kleber or whoever's playing the 4. At that point, could also be Dorian Finney-Smith or whoever you want to interchange into that 4-man position. And he catches down here at the block area. And while this pass is going here, he's getting caught here, hopefully with a switch off from the 4-man, so that this is an easy entry pass, and he's catching this ball about 5 to 12 feet away from the rim instead of about 15 to 18 feet away from the rim. Much easier jump shot, has the angle here with the glass as well. I'll have a video of this play running as well right now. So I hope here you guys can see exactly what I'm envisioning for this offense a little bit. Rick Carlisle does a lot of off-ball screens here on the wing area, but I think utilizing the baseline for Kristaps could be a very, very nice touch. Also could look for a lob threat here from Luka to Kristaps as well. Just with Luka's passing ability, that is a possibility. And the final one here is a little bit of a pin-up screen action for Kristaps Porzingis, ways to get him the ball on offense, get him easy baskets. And I love this one. This one's one of my favorites actually here. We've got Luka Doncic here at the top of the key with the ball. And you'll notice here, we've got a little bit of a triangle offense going on with the 2, 3, and 4 guys over here. Again, a smaller offense here. This is the whole point. We get a double pin down screen here for the 2 to run through. And the whole point of this is to make them think that this guy's trying to get a shot off. This would be preferably probably Tim Hardaway Jr. in our offense currently, because he's the best shooting weapon we have off the ball at this moment in time. So I think that having him be the screener here in this action would be the best. You see Kristaps Porzingis here comes and sets an on-ball screen towards the middle of the floor, And while Tim Hardaway's running off these screens, you would think the player defending him is probably thinking, okay, he's running to the opposite wing to get a shot up. Instead, he cuts up here and sets a back screen for Kristaps Porzingis to open up that role for him. And Luka Doncic, this is going to be easy money throwing this lob. This action here, him running, is going to get the defender on Tim Hardaway's hip and not back into the action where he needs to be. And of course, Dorian Finney-Smith shooting very well this year. Maxi Kleber could be playing the floor. You have enough floor spacing where Luka Doncic is going to be able to hit either here or hit the corner or the wing if they do sink in. But this should help alleviate a lot of open looks for Kristaps Porzingis as a role man in our offense. I think that this is another addition that Rick Carlisle needs to make to his offensive system. And lastly, for a final solution, if everything doesn't work out, if Rick Carlisle doesn't make the adjustments needed to his offense to really make Kristaps Porzingis happy, we could be looking at an actual trade of Kristaps Porzingis. I don't think it'll come this offseason, but if the Mavericks don't win a playoff series this year, and if they don't start out the gate super hot next year, I think the Mavericks will be taking calls on Kristaps Porzingis and possibly could be moving him. The Boston Celtics here, not actually an option, I don't think, but I just put them in here because I found a nice jersey swap of him. Let me know in the comments below if you think it's possible that Kristaps Porzingis will get traded. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy today's video. I think Kristaps Porzingis is a player that the Mavericks should look to keep. I want Kristaps Porzingis to be a Dallas Maverick for the foreseeable future and for the long term. I really want Kristaps to work here in Dallas. I think that he will work if we just give him a little bit of patience, but I understand why some Mavericks fans don't think that he's going to work out and why there's a little bit of frustration there. I understand it. Let me know in the comments below. Do you want Kristaps Porzingis to be a Maverick long-term, or do you think the Mavericks will trade him? Thanks again, guys, so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the very next video.